As you can see, teams should not disclose their university names. They should use the team letter assigned by the society representative today, and not today. I think they know their letters, team A, B, C. Okay, if you don't know, I will give you them. Honored student team member may participate in the presentation. Each team presentation is limited to 10 minutes. However, there is an addition of 5 minutes questions. So we'll be having someone who will show you when the time is expired, and showing you the remaining minutes. When it is the 1 minute is remaining, so he will show you. So be in mind the presentation is 10 minutes. And another additional minutes, not limited to the 5, depending to the judge. Maybe they may ask more questions depending their concern. It might go beyond 25, but presentation of the team will be 10 minutes. The timekeeper will provide 1 minute warning and announcement when time has expired during the presentation. During the presentation. When timekeeper announces the time, that time has expired, teams must immediately conclude their presentation. I hope it's understood here. Once team present, they can either choose to stay in the room or go out. If they choose to, they are choosing to leave. Now, for the first team, will not have a chance to see. First team will present itself here in the room. The other team, the other participant will be having the holding room. They have been holding room. We have 4 in fourth row. We have the holding room where you'll be sitting there. As I said, you have 3 teams, and the presentation scoring is they will be grading or judging like this according to this criteria. What I have here is not what is appearing here on the screen. I don't know. We'll be having financial analysis, evaluation, environmental, social, and governance, presentation, question. Yes. Those are the criteria they will be, our judges will be marking according to these criteria. Financial analysis has 20, evaluation has 20, environmental and social and governance has 10. Presentation, how you appear in front of judge, will be counting 20. Question and answers, how you participate to answer the questions, will also contribute to 20. And team involvement, even the material. So here to get that winning team, we'll be having presentation marks combining the written report marks. You know the report you wrote and sent to your industry mentors. So we'll be having that marks and combine with the presentation here, so that you can be able to determine the winning team. Winner from local competition here in Rwanda will be advanced to sub-region competition, or sub-regions have been determined using the United Nations and CFA Institute edition. So this year, when I'm saying sub-region, our society in East Africa is combined the Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. So the team we go to the next level. winning team here in Rwanda will be joining other team across the East Africa. There will be 4 teams, including Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Plus Rwanda will be 4 teams that will join other team to the Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Yes, I have said that the winner from the sub-regional competition this year will advance to the 1-3 region competition, which will be hosted virtually. The competition this year, the team will not be able to go to face-to-face competition. They will compete virtually using Zoom link. They will be shared on 14th. This is our timeline we are having. Yes, this is the timeline we're having. That's of sub-region. The winning team will be having to go to advance to sub-region. This is a kickoff meeting. They will have a kickoff meeting. They will have video presentation, and this, according to this data, they are appearing there. Also, sub-region advancement announcement will be announced on 31st March, and semi-final will be between 6th and 7th April this year. Also will be conducted virtually. Regional final will be held 13th and 14th April. Also will be virtual and will be live streamed larger and enlarged audience. So the team will compete. I wish you maybe in Rwanda. The winning team will go to the global in Washington DC. Maybe you can have a chance to go to United States, where the competition also will be face to face. Now I wish you the good luck, and I hope as we are now starting the competition, so we can't go forward without thanking the industry mentor and faculty advisor who really took their time to participate in this research challenge to be where we are now. And even the subject company, I&M Bank, Rwanda, we really thank you. You have done a lot, and you have representative from there is Ale Mucho, Head of Strategy. Please come forward and give us remarks. Thank you.
Good morning. We are honored and thrilled to be here today as a subject company. And the session we're going to have today is one of the things that we support through our corporate social responsibility. One of the pillars that we support is education. But education is not only limited to financing people go to school or to university, but also giving a chance to anybody who want to do any research analysis that is going to be beneficial not only to yourselves, but also to the company as well. So the research or the results you're going to present today, they're not going to remain with you only, but also they're going to be beneficial to us. Because I believe if you have a second eye on the results that we've had, or anything that we've been doing for maybe depending on the time that you took, it might give us a further analysis that we did not cover in our analysis. But I want to tell you that the results you're going to share with us today, they're going to be beneficial to us or to further analysis that we do. We have a unit in our bank that does the analysis apart from finance, but also the business intelligence. That's where the results are going to go, and they're going to be beneficial in that aspect. And I believe if there might be a need to do further analysis apart from your research that you're doing today, we'll be able to give you a chance to do that. So I wish you all the best today. And in case you need any further support from I&M Bank, we'll be on your side. Thank you.
I think you can clap for him. I don't know what happened to you. Yeah. Now, as you said, you don't have your letters according to the team. Let me find them, and then I can tell you the letters assigned to your. We have University of Rwanda. Two team. Have team B. University of Rwanda team B. And you have University of Rwanda team D. Right? Or, okay. Team B, where are you? Team D. Team A is University of Kigali. I think you are. Now we are going to choose the team who is going to be the first, and the other will be going to the holding room. I'm going to have papers, and then you come and choose your number. So that's where the team leader will come and choose the number, and then the number you pick will be yours to the time for you to come and present. Now, I can't go forward without to introduce our board member. The society board member is called Gilbert Yonamatsiko. Maybe has something to say. Okay. Now, it's time for team leader to come and choose to pick the paper there, and then we see the number 1, which will start for presentation. Thank you. Team leader, please come forward. Number 1 is going to remain here. Number 2 and number 3, they are going up on 4th floor on holding room. That guy Hillary will show you the room. Team leader number 1, for number 1, come please. I think now it's time for team 1 to come and present.
Thank you. As we are here, we are Group D, as we are going to present our research presentations. We was in the research in past time. Now we are going to introduce our work in order to continue with the full presentation. As you know, I&M Bank is a bank that acts in the commercial sector or financial sector in Rwanda. That is a branch from I&M Group. It has a big shareholding by having share capital of 25 billion, and also they have full paid up share capital or shares of 1.5 billion. That means they consume 6% of their cakes, means they have a cake that should be investment. Today, their investment are country growing, as my fellow members are going to present to you. And also, always we need you to pay attention for our presentation in order to understand our research findings, in order to understand where the financial sector of Rwanda. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here to present on share capital of I&M Bank. Share capital of I&M Bank as a share which issued and paid 1.5 billions of ordinary shares, and a share capital which is authorized or included in Article of Association is 25 billions. So I&M Bank encourage a member to come and invest in I&M Bank because there are still a big number of shares which can be issued. So about a macroeconomic review on I&M Bank, I&M Bank have a vision to have an objective to increase its its revenue. So according to the research made in 2021, the revenue was increased at high level. So according to a macroeconomics, they have a high technology which can help them to increase, to achieve that objective. Another thing on macroeconomics, they look on the inflation. On inflation, where we see as the inflation was increasing at high level, which affected the I&M bank activities. And on the GDP, of course, when the inflation is increased, the GDP of the country also it affected. So about the shareholding of the I&M bank, it's a group, it's the member of the group of I&M, where in that group, I&M Bank Rwanda, it's like a branch of that group, where it's held by the Basel investment. So the I&M Bank is composed by the different shareholders, like employees, like other parties or other related. But the company which have a big share, it's Basel, which have around 54%. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Let us continue in allocation of activity in different allocation of Rwanda. IN Bank is, as shown in a map, it cover in all country. It's work in all district in all country. There is a market in Rwanda. IM Bank is work hard and growth, where their shares are traded on Rwanda Stock Exchange. They have main product or services: commercial banking, treasury service, and bank insurance. Let us continue. The performance measurement analysis. IM Bank, they have many key points or key performance indicators, where the percentage growth of new business revenue, profit before tax, return on equity, net promoter score, and the employment engagement. This is the key performance indicators that IM Bank is focused to perform their goals. Environment. IM Bank is help the country to plant the tree in Gemba, where they plant over 60,000 trees in order to provide or to protect their environment.
Let us continue with industrial overview of the I&M Bank. As I&M Bank is in the industry which has some key players. Those key players are like Koje Bank, Bank of Kigali, and other banks like KCB. I&M Bank is doing in an industry that is more competitive, and that's why it needs to be also competitive. There are some key and success factors of the industry. For example, they need to be innovative in technology by having something which is by spending a lot or a minimum of like 10 to 20% in their research and development. As the technology is advancing in these days, they should also be there in a regulatory environment by observing environment through those planting of trees and any other sources. Therefore, there is also comparable section where you can compare I&M Bank and other related competitors. So to get in order to get what you can be encouraging or what you can change in your day to day. There is also market dynamics, as they always try to adjust for the changes that happens, as they have supported to adjust what has done in the COVID depression.
Thank you. Let me continue on strategy. As they are in a competitive environment, they need to know about the strategy to adapt in order to be competitive on market. As we show in our research, they have to drive business growth as a strategy. Without growth, there is any challenges or main challenges for them, because if they stagnate in their operation, they can't grow. And also, they need to adapt strategies of breathing resilience organization. As in the financial sector, they need to be resilient in order to continue to be profitable business, and also optimizing operating model. They need to develop new models that will help them to compete with their competitors. As shown on this graph, we compare them with market leader in the financial sector in Rwanda. As market leader, as is Bank of Kigali in Rwanda, as our research shows, they grow with the growth of market leader that explain their strategies effectiveness to achieve their goals of achieving profitability and competitiveness in industry. And also their board, they need to be competitive. As we know, competitive board and also competitive staff will help to achieve their goals and the strategies implementation. Now, let me invite my fellow to continue with the financial analysis.
By continuing on financial analysis, by using a trend which have been made in research, the operating income of I&M Bank was decreased between 218 and 2020, because in 2020 there is a COVID pandemic. But in 2021 up to now in 2022, there was increase in operating income of I&M Bank, according to that graph it shows us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue with equity analysis. As this graph shows, equity analysis and investment analysis, and also other key performance indicators as shown in the previous part. Here, this graph shows comparison between assets, profitability, profit before tax, and also share capital. This graph is a summary of all their operation, because if they have profit before tax, they pay tax and also dividends. The remaining they invest in assets, and also their share capital increase. As shown, we predict until 2028, they will have continuous increase in profitability and also share capital, and also increase in asset. That means their investment decisions are very competitive and successful to their business operation. Investment analysis, as this graph shows, always we use key ratios in comparison with the last 2 years, which is 2021, 2020, and also comparing with the 2022, as you have been get the financials of 9 months of 2022. By this, they have to grow in their investment, and also by showing by this graph, investment liquidity coverage increases by profitability as shown.
By the ending this presentation, I&M Bank, its evaluation by using earning per share method, it have 45 Rwandan francs per each share. On financial and the other risk, we choose to use the score model, which is developed by Altman. According to that model, I&M Bank have a gray zone where it have a 2.6 according to Altman Z score. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for my fellow. Now, due to time, okay, thank you so much. We have to cover our presentation. We may continue or it's time of question? Okay, you are welcome for this time. We are very happy to answer the question that you are going to ask for us. Our presentation is at the end. The remaining are the indexes and appendixes for what we have presented.
Group D, thank you so much for your presentation. It was good. It shows that you spent some time doing the work, which is good. I have a few questions. Maybe I'll ask each and then you answer each separately. First of all, in your financial analysis, what do you think are the key drivers of the revenue growth of I&M Bank?
Okay, thank you. As you have been presented, there are many different key drivers of income in I&M Bank, but due to our presentations explained, there is different factors that are influence revenue of I&M Bank. Here we have growth of revenue as key performance indicators in the all measurement basis, but there are different activities as we explained in the introduction. I&M Bank, they provide the commercial services and also they invest in the other activities as commercial agents in Rwanda that provide them revenue as one of the revenue drivers, and also their strategies and investment strategies help them to increase their revenue as their revenue drive.
I can support him. I&M Bank, first it have a high technology, competitive technology, where he use his technology, its technology to make decisions, which also help which is used as the way to understanding the customer. As you know, the customer are the first which help the company to generate the revenue. Without the customer, it's difficult to get the revenue. So according to the technology of I&M Bank, help to make it critical decisions which help them to understand their customer, which also help them to increase their revenue as their objective. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My other question is, what was your biggest challenge while you're doing the research on I&M Bank, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Thank you for this question. As I&M Bank, they have professional board and also professional team. All information we require to find during our research. We use the website. They provide all information related to their operations. But some challenges, they are audited financials and difficult financial language. Due to their auditor, as I know I read last year, 2021, they use KPMG as their auditor. They use professional language in their financials. That was difficult for us. But we try to overcome these challenges as this team. We have some professional accountant who complete CFA last year. We use them to overcome it, to help us to understand some accounting terms, some standard they use. For example, to understand, emphasize the paragraph in the audit report. It was very difficult, but we use our professional in our team, our mentors, in order to understand what it means to explain, emphasizing matter paragraph in the audit report in order to understand what they want to say to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Team D. Also, thank you for spending your time to to present this and to prepare this good presentation. I have few questions. One is on the shareholding of the company. You referred to I&M Bank as a branch of I&M Bank. Can you elaborate on that one?
Thank you so much. There is some confusion. I&M is a group, as we explained. By this chart, explain where. This is I&M Group. I&M Group have different corporations or businesses, including this group. They invest as different, but one of the members of a group, which is BCR, Investment Company Limited, they have I&M Bank, Rwanda, as their branch. We mean the group of I&M, by this structure, I&M Bank, Rwanda, is a branch or subsidiary, I think is a branch of BCR, as this diagram explain. BCR has 54% of their share capital as their controller because they exceed 50% in I&M Bank. They have floated shares of public 20%. They have private investors of 0.5. As we explain in our chart explain, this is a branch of BCR, which is a member of a group of I&M. But the name of this bank is from the founder of a group, which is I&M Group, and name are basing on the parent, parent I&M, and also bank code I&M. Thank you.
Thank you. Coming back to social responsibility, governance, and environmental, can you talk more on the governance structure of I&M, also on the strategy when it comes to environmental response?
Thank you so much. This is amazing and also happy point to talk to. I&M, as you know, this picture of their headquarters explain how they are participating in environmental protection. They try to bring green city, as is our visions of Rwanda. We need to have a green city. They help us. They help government to achieve their targets by using natural materials in their buildings in order to attract good air and achieve objective of green city. And also social. They participate in different factors and also different activities that help society. For example, today we are in the research challenges provided by I&M Bank as subject company. This is one of the social activities which included in the corporate social responsibility. And also their governance here, I&M is corporate governance are based on ethics core, which is positive driven by shareholders democracy. Their shareholders are dealing with investment, but always each one has the right to provide some ideas that will help to achieve their goals. Their governance, due to how they participate in the governance, in the development of Rwanda, in different sectors of economy, they use their board to decide about what to do. For example, by this picture, tell us how their governance participate in social life of Rwandan. They provide some books in bookmobile. They help some children to enjoy their Christmas and also other social activities that help to achieve the corporate governance in their activities. And also their board include gender balance as one of the facts we have in Rwanda as increasing our global reputations and also increase human rights. By this picture, they provide some rewards to the achievement with health sector by providing life insurance, which is big achievement of the bank, where they provide life insurance for people of Rwanda. For example, my family and other families which are poor, they used to get these refugees to continue to have health with good society in Rwanda. I think that is enough. And also, if there is addition of my members, can add.
And maybe he can answer the next question. What is the Taiwan capital and Tai 2 for I&M? Lastly, how many valuation methods did you use on the valuation? I think you mentioned one.
Valuation methods that we have used in evaluating, we have used earning per share, we have used dividend growth model, we have used profit before tax. I think those are what we have used when we are evaluating. And also there is asset evaluation.
Are they concluding the same thing? The conclusion using those three methods.
Okay, let me support, and also I think my fellow Chance has some ideas
Excuse
about
me.
it.
Can anyone else respond?
Yes, of course.
By making a conclusion on valuation, we're basing on earning per share method. But others, we used others, but by concluding using earning per share method.
One last follow-up question regarding the earning per share method. So does your conclusion show that I&M Bank is overvalued or undervalued or at the right price?
Okay, thank you. I&M Bank, by choosing to use earning per share, we try to highlight this trend as shown on this graph. The earning per share through 2019, 2020 to 2021, they increased 4.9. But due to pandemic 2020, the earning per share decreases, but 2021 increased by 1.6 until they reached 6.6. We choose to use it, but because always analysts, they meet with the challenge of using similar ways of evaluation. We use earning per share based on our prediction for their financials. We use average trend. Due to the information we have of last 5 years, we try to use average trend because our average combine financial factors and the non-financial factors in order to evaluate their future performance based on how they do. That means by this graph, this trend from this year, from this point to this point, there are different factors that affect trend, which are financial factors and the non-financial factors. That means due to 2020, there is global pandemic that affect different sectors. That we base it before pandemic, during pandemic, and also after pandemic. There are different factors we're basing, and also by stabilities of economy. By average trend, we mean I&M Bank will continue to grow due to their earning per share, and also as their share capital are still weight, they can attract some other investors to invest in their bank. That will help to increase their operations because they have big cake, but they have big part to consume that will attract investors and also continue perform their activities.
Addition on this method, by using different information about earning per share, tened earning, and others, which are included in this method of earning per share, we conclude that the share price of the I&M Bank it's good. There is no problem to have. It's good. It's in good. Yeah. Thank you.
In addition, due to the score ranking, we try to rank I&M in order to look about their future. Future of I&M Bank is better due to the score. We calculate the score and find that they are in 2.6. The Z score provide explanations about real and main ratios they choose in order to explain how about the future risk the bank can meet? If we calculate the score value and realize that next 2 years, and then bank are in a stable condition that will help them to attract some investors to invest in them, and also expect to have continuous increase by expecting next 2 years there is no risk of losing, but we think about next 5 years. If they do well, we will do the next evaluation in next 2 years in order to know the next 2 years, after 2 years, what will happen. We will know if they continue with their movement speed toward their achievement to meet with market leader. As we know, the Rwanda financial sector is led by Bank of Kigali. By comparison, by this graph, they move along with market leader. As market leader, by this line, market leader, which is Bank of Kigali, increase, and also I&M increase. That demonstrate will continue to increase until they reach to the lines of market leader of
Please,
financial
would you
sector.
conclude? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, by conclusion, we
No,
need
you have concluded. You have concluded. You have concluded.
you conclude.
You have concluded.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Team 2, they are outside. Please come. Come.
Morning, everybody, and welcome to our presentation. This is Team B. We are going to present about the recommendation for investors to buy for share price of 76.9 Rwandan franc. First of all, I&M Bank is a financial institution that providing loan and accepting deposit from the public. So there is the statement of the chairman that said that first of all, they thank their employees, how they providing professional services for their customers, and they will continue providing, capitalizing on digital platform and providing secured services and convenience. So they try to do everything that can help them to achieve sustainable development. So there is the background of I&M Bank in the different years. In 1963, I&M Bank, it is the first bank launched in Rwanda as called Banque Commerciale du Rwanda. In 2008, it's the first bank in Rwanda to sell a corporate bond on Rwanda Stock Exchange. In 2007, it is the first bank that introduced e-banking, and that's why right now it is the best bank expressing digital banking. So about the corporate, social, and environmental issues, I&M Bank, it is engaged in social responsibility and it's environmental friendly, where they are engaged in tree plantation and they started reducing the paper document used. So about the product and services that I&M Bank providing, they're providing personal banking, business banking, corporate diaspora banking, they're providing loan, they're providing some card like debit card and credit card, and they're providing advice for their client how they can invest their money and earning high profit. Allow me to call my colleague to continue about the industry drivers and the competitive positioning. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Eric Byiringiro. I'm going to continue on industry analysis. So, according to Benet report of 4 quarters, I'm going to talk about on 4 key ratios. First is the capital efficiency, and earning, and the asset quality. On capital efficiency, the Benet report indicated that the financial institution industry is performing better according to other industries. Like by using those key ratios, you can find that core capital to right-weighted asset in 4 previous quarters, December to September 2022, the ratio is increasing, which means that the bank capital is very better, where the capital, when you say capital adequacy, we mean that the bank have excess or have excess capital to meet their obligation before winding up. So as you can see on these ratios, the bank capital to their asset are very better, which is good. I can continue on asset quality. You can see on those ratios of 4 quarters, the ratio indicate how the bank is utilizing their asset. Like let me take like few ratios, like on non-performing loans to gross loans. You can see like non-performing loans are those loans which are in risk, where clients are unable to meet their obligations of paying interest and the principal. But you can see on the analysis, the ratio, this blue one, non-performing loans to gross loans granted. Let me use it here. You can see the ratio is decreasing, which means that management is more efficient to recover the loan granted. I can come on either on net as earning asset, total asset, and then bank, its assets are more utilized. Earning asset, you can see like, let's use this graph. Earning asset is on 80. It means that most of assets are getting profits. We can continue on earnings, like return on asset. Their ratio are increasing, 2.73. You can see the bank is performing better. I can continue on competitive positioning. I&M Bank have adopted 3 strategies for competing their competitors. They are using differentiation, low-cost strategy, long-term investment, where you can see that building of I&M Bank. It's a key investment they have made. It's utilizing technology which continue to contribute to more revenue to the bank. Let me allow my colleague to proceed.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm Jean-Baptiste Nkurunziza. I'm going to continue about the financial statement analysis of I&M Bank. I'm just trying to use the revenue, non-performing loans, and the liquidity and the profitability analysis. Upon revenue, we have been used the years from 2017 to 2022 for the first 9 months. We have got that the revenue has been increasing, except for 2020, where the country was in COVID-19 pandemics. But also after 2020, the country is in a recovery process, and the revenue of I&M Bank also is increasing. About the profitability, you have seen that the profitability of I&M is increasing as shown in the graph, except for 2020. It's the low we have because the country was also in COVID-19. But after 2021, it has been recovered, as you see on the graph. And also for 2022, is increasing as you see for the first 9 months, and you are sure that when the last quarter is added, it can be increasing. Also, we have used the other key ratios for analysis of the profitability. We have used net profit margin, return on asset, and return on equity. About the liquidity analysis, I&M Bank is in a good position about the liquidity, where National Bank of Rwanda limit is 100%. But for the last 3 years, it has been achieved and get more than that. Allow me to call my colleague and continue on evaluation. Thank you.
Morning. John Zaikunda. We are going to look for valuation. For valuation, we tried to use dividend valuation method so that we can know how much is the price for shares of I&M Bank. As you see, we use a different calculation for determining different rate, like cost of equity, by using CAPM, capital asset pricing model, and the cost of debt is the one that I&M Bank use. So we calculated weighted average cost of capital, and we get 6.992, approximately to 7%. And the present value of dividend calculated using that figures as you're looking on the screen. So we get the price of a share equals to 76.94 francs. While the quoted price of I&M Bank is 43. Means regarding the calculation, it is underpriced almost 79%. So, thanks. Allow me to call my colleague to continue with the remainings.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nibigira Patrick, and I'm from Team B. So, I'm going to continue explaining about the investment risks. As banking sector is keep growing in this country, so they are more exposed on different types of risks. So that's why we are going to analyze these different types of risks by analyzing what's projected here by using simple language. So we are going to start by classifying it in 3 main ones. The first one is interest rate, the second one is foreign, and the last one is operational risk. So under interest rate risk, we have sat as a group and discussed. So if we found that I&M Bank have engaged in offering credits, but under the high interest rate. So under foreign, we have found that they become unable to meet their financial obligations. And under the operational risk, they found themselves meeting with the frauds and the other theft issues. So, all in all, we are, as a Team B, recommend investors a buy option at target price of 76.94. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Team B. And thank you to give us an overview of I&M Bank Rwanda, I'm guessing. My first question is on the gentleman with the pink shirt. You say that one of the competitiveness of I&M is an investment in the building as a key investment. What is the contribution of that building to the overall revenue of I&M, as you said, is a key investment for I&M?
Thank you.
Yes.
The key contribution of that building, I&M is not using all that building. There are other parts that can be rented to other institutions, which can become like other revenues to the bank, I think. And also, as you know, if you have your own asset, that building will save the renting cost, which will it's like saving cost to the bank.
Okay. My next question is why dividend per share method?
The reason for dividend per share method, because it is more accurate in relation to other method. It is more accurate. Other methods are subjective. So the reason why we choose dividend method.
What other method? Which other method are subjective?
Like discounted cash flows, to project the cash flow is very difficult. Like other asset method, they are very difficult to determine. Like for asset, you have to know the value of market value of the asset, which is very difficult to determine at the level, and the information was not provided accurately. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Group B. I hope you can hear me. Thank you for your presentation. I really like the originality of the presentation. I have three questions. The first is regarding revenue. You mentioned I&M asset base growing over the years. I just want to know major contributor to I&M. Why? Oh, okay. I want to know the major contributor to revenues, to I&M's revenue, that's causing its asset base to grow.
First of all, as banking sector, as banking sectors, it get first revenue, it's interest income. It's the first one. The second one is fee income. And the third one is other trading activities it do outside for that. Thank you.
Thank you. My second question is regarding valuation. You did mention you use the CAPEN method as well. I want to know, what was the source of your data on like the market beta that you used? Where did you get that information from?
So for the information you get by using CAPEM, like risk-free rate, it was provided by National Bank of Rwanda. The turn on market, it is a rate for an riskiness asset. Yeah, this is where we get the data for cost of debt we get from I&M Bank website and the other information.
Thank you. I think the final question I have, I want somebody else, maybe her, to answer. What are the key lessons you learned in this research, and how are they going to inform your future career options?
Thank you so much. Our career for this research, it will help us to know how because of course we are the future investors. So it will help us to know how we can analyze different financial institutions and how we can invest our money and what return you can get in this investment. Thank you.
Yes, personally, in your career, how is it going to inform you? Do you think this is something you can do as a career or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we hear something on the comparison with the I&M Bank with the other competitor, as well as on environmental, social, and governance? The comparison on those two, comparison of I&M and their competitors regarding environmental, social, and governance responsibility.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I&M Bank, as other company, have engaged in social and environmental issues. As you have seen on our slide, I&M Bank have engaged in tree plantation. Tree plantation, have engaged in educational as like this event. So on the side of I&M Bank, continue also to support the community. So it is in line with the other banks. So it is trying.
It is in line with other banks.
No, what can I add to what my colleague have said? I&M Bank have put more effort to be engaged in corporate social responsibility by using the practical example, like sometimes they took initiative and they pay some health services to their clients, to their poor clients. Thank you.
I&M Bank have brought digitalization, which is environmental related. You can see in I&M Bank there is less paper being used. At least 75% of transactions are done through internet, which is the environmental. That is its added value than other banks. Other banks are trying, but are not on the same level with the I&M Bank. So I&M is on.
I think you can thank you and hear from the next team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next team may come and present.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team A. My name is Umtoneshko Sacre with Mucho, Focus, Giselle, Julius, Teddy, and Ange. So we initiate our coverage of I&M Bank Rwanda with a recommendation of sell at a target price of 33 francs, which is a downside of 28% from the January 13th, 2023 close of 45 francs. So a brief overview of what I&M Bank offers. Its main products and services are commercial banking, treasury services, and bank assurance. Let's take a brief recap of their history. They are the oldest financial institution in Rwanda, having been incorporated in 1963, by then owned by the government. It was later privatized in 2004 and was acquired by I&M in a consortium with Proparco and DEG in 2012 and was rebranded in 2013 to I&M Bank Rwanda to reflect the ownership. Since 2017, its shares have been offered on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. They have a good ESG standing. As you can see, they have a deep commitment to the conservation of the natural environment. They have a headquarters, which is a green building, which has reduced their water and power consumption by 70%. In 2021, they also partnered with UNHCR to plant 60,000 tree seedlings in Gihembe refugee camp, which was facing environmental issues. They also have various social initiatives to help the community, such as school tuition coverage, community-based health insurance coverage, and they also had a program with Mental Health Hub in 2021 to help their employees cope with the COVID-19 effects. Let me welcome my colleague, Mucho, to continue with the rest.
Thank you so much, Mtoneshwa. I'm going to continue on corporate governance of I&M Bank. I&M Bank has 9 board of directors, whereby 77 are independent and the remaining 23 are executives. And we have found that I&M Bank has 22% of women, which is below the acceptable norm of 33%, and this should be improved. So let me welcome my second colleague to continue.
On an industry overview, the banking sector makes up to 66.1% of the financial institution industry. That's a dominant number of 66%. Moreover, disappointingly, I&M has disappointedly, only 36% of adult people are accessing banking services. Only 36% of adult population use banking services. So it's a gap to be refilled to raise that number of adult people who can access the banking services. Thank you.
Thank you, Focus. We are presenting competitive positioning of I&M Bank. Currently, I&M Bank is a fourth largest commercial. It's a fourth largest commercial bank in Rwanda out of 10 that we have in Rwanda. It is the fourth in terms of assets, in terms of net loans, customer deposits, and shareholders' equity. Previously, it was the third, but later on it came to be the fourth because of BPR being acquired by KCB. Rushing to the Porter's 5 forces. 5 Porter's forces, it's a tool to analyze the operating environment of competition of our environment. We have the first one. It's a threats of new entry, which was low. Threats of substitute, which is moderate. Power of customers, which is also moderate. Power of suppliers, which is also moderate. And lastly, we have competitive rivalry, which was high. Thank you. Let me welcome my colleague.
Thank you so much. I'm going to present the financial analysis of the I&M. So, the financial analysis was conducted by the analyzing the financial performance of I&M Bank for the first 5 years, from 2017 to 2021. So for us, if we mainly focused on the return on asset and return on equity, which is the profitability of I&M, where we found that we used the 2021 as the base year. We found that on the return on equity, it was the 15.0. It is 15.69, which is above the 15.0, which is recommended by the banking sector average. For the case of return on asset, it was 2.06, which is also the above the one which is recommended by the banking sector average. So for the case of the liquidity, we have for the case of the dividend yield, we know that the dividend yield is the dividend per share of the market price per share times 100. We have seen that on the 2018 was the best year, which is have the high dividend. For the case of 2020, it was the bad year due to the COVID-19. For the case of 2021, it started increasing because of the economic recovery. So for the case of the liquidity, we have seen that the banking liquidity coverage, it was 504%, which is above the benchmark, which is 100%. This indicates that the I&M Bank has the ability to meet its short-term obligation as and when they fall due. For the case of asset quality was measured by the non-performing loans, where we found that the non-performing loans of the I&M, they were at 3.45%, which is below the 5%, which was recommended.
Yes, let's dive into our valuation. So we used intrinsic and relative valuation methods, and using the discounted cash flow, we got a weighted cost of capital of 21%, which gave us an implied share price of 40.16, which is a downside from the current price. We also used the dividend discount model, making assumptions such as the risk-free rate of 12.15%, beta of 0.74, market risk premium of 15.43%, cost of equity of 23.57%, and the terminal growth rate of 10.4%. We also used relative valuation in comparison with peer companies such as BK, KCB, Equity, which are also traded on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. Our multiple analysis of the price per earning and price per book value multiples gave us an implied share price of 34.9. So averaging all those three methods, we obtained a target price of 33 francs. Let's also move to investment risks. So we noticed three major risks the I&M Bank is facing, investment risks. There is credit risk, which there is a risk of people not repaying back their loans. There's also the market risk, which can be caused by changes in prices, such as foreign exchange prices. And we know that I&M Bank deals with currency exchange, such as from dollars to francs. There is also an operational risk, which comes from internal processes. As most of you know, certain processes in the banks are digitalized, and with digitalization, there's always a risk of system failure. Thank you. So with that, in conclusion, we reiterate our recommendation of sale at 33 francs per minute. Thank you. We welcome any questions. Yeah, we're done.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I just want a small clarification before I get into the questions. You said you recommend buy or sell?
Sell.
At 33?
Yes.
And your valuation shows 23 francs, if I'm not...
Oh, no, that was, we used three methods.
Yeah.
So that was the relative valuation,
Oh,
the
okay.
dividend discount model. That's what
So the average of the three was...
The average for the three
is 33?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I have a few questions. Let me go by the first one. What does the return on average equity of 15.69, which is above the industrial average, mean? Can you interpret that for us?
So this shows that this is a good sign on the side of I&M Bank because it shows that they're above the banking sector average. So it shows that it's a good opportunity for investment, but also we also looked at valuation to go with a final recommendation.
Thank you. Can you tell us more on the data gathering, especially on the financial data, the beta, the market premium,
yes,
also the cost of debt?
Okay. So for the risk-free rate, we used the Rwanda government 5-year bond yield, and for the beta, we used the one from the Modern because we didn't have enough data to calculate it. We used an external source, the Modern, yes. Yeah, the same with the market risk premium. And our cost of equity was calculated using those three things. And for the terminal growth rate, we looked at the GDP growth of Rwanda. Cost of debt. We looked at the financial statements of I&M Bank and looking at also the tax percentage of Rwanda, which is 30%. But 20%. Yes.
Okay. And why choose this method? Why choose the discounted cash flow?
This is because we wanted to use various methods because the valuation methods, like discounted cash flow, they are predictions. So we wanted to get as many methods as we can so that we can make our valuation more accurate.
Sorry, let me rephrase.
Yes.
To get to your recommendation,
yes,
which method did you rely on your recommendation?
We used 3, which is discounted cash flow, dividend discount model, and relative valuation. Then we weighted them. All 3 are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the average of the 3.
My other question is, what was your team's approach to analyze the companies, the research of them? Like, how did you go by it?
So I think we first used the...
Can somebody else answer in your team?
Can I get
your
you?
team's approach to go by the research of I&M Bank? How did you approach the whole process?
By the secondary data. Raised secondary data.
Maybe to add more, to explain more on what he had said. So we used financial statements, which are provided by I&M Bank. We also used other information provided like, by the National Bank of Rwanda and by the competition other banks. We also used financial statements.
Is there any macroeconomic findings on in relation to I&M? Is any inflation going to affect the performance? Did you do any research on that?
I think that would be part of the market risk, which is an investment risk that I&M is facing. But we majorly looked at the foreign exchange risk and
Okay, maybe someone else also should respond to this. What was your experience in preparing this and gathering the data, have a report and also your presentation here?
Here's question.
Your experience in this challenge. What can you describe what you feel right now? What is the impact on you? And what was the exercise for you?
So, I understand we have many challenges because to get that was not easy. Sometimes the first thing was get enough data. It was challenging like us. That was not enough. Maybe sometimes
Also, another experience we got, experience of researching. We gained the more experience about research, which I think is going to help us in other practices that we're gonna do. Another one, self-confidence, like this, having a confidence of presenting in front of people. It's another experience. Thank you.
So to add a little bit more on the question, sorry. So I think first we all gained, because I think it was our first time analyzing a company, especially like the valuation part. I don't think any of us had used these methods outside of class exercises and others. So we got to see how it works in the real world.
And after this experience, do you think any of you have career aspirations in the investment industry? Do you see yourself doing this in the future, like after this research experience?
Exactly, yes. Why not? We have already started evaluating and we have got the feedback, so it is really, really attractive.
Yeah, I also see myself going in there because I'd never actually considered financial analysis as a career, but as an investment analyst. So.
Thank you for your presentation. Now, according to our agenda, we have tea break. Our tea break is down there at where swimming, is it a swimming pool? Yes, that's where we are going to take a tea break. And now, by the time we are going, you are going at tea break, we are going in tarrying the marks. And after that, you come here, all the teams and judges and other participants will be announcing the best two team for going the next round. We'll be having one winning team. Thank you. Hello everyone again. Thank Thank you. Now this is the time to announce the best two team, and it's not saying that the one the best, not the, it is to miss the word to express, because all of you have performed and you have spent a really good time and you did what you're supposed to do, and all in all, we have to choose the best. In the best, we have to choose in the best again. Yeah. We are having team B, team we are having team B, team B, I mean team B, team D, and team and team A. Team B was University of Rwanda, B as usual, and University of Rwanda also was having a letter D again. University of Kigali was having A. Right? Okay. In written report, team B has 66, and presentation was having 74. I'm saying team B. Combining written report and written report and presentation scores the average of 70.5. Team D in written report got 50 and presentation got 53.8. Team A in written report got 66 and presentation got 65.1. According to the ranking, Team D is the third one. Team A is the second one, and Team B is the first one. Team A is University of Kigali, which is the second one. Team B is the first one, which is University of Rwanda. As we did in the previous presentation, we are going now to call team leaders of team B and A to come and pick the paper here so that you can be able to know the team which is going to be first presenter. And the first team, while he is presenting, another one we may have a chance to go and make a rehearsal so that maybe they can see where to improve. One. Okay. One is team A. So team B, they might choose to sit here, or they might go and continue to do a rehearsal. Thank you. Team A, please.
Good morning again. This is Team A. So, yeah. We initiate our coverage of I&M Bank Rwanda PLC with a recommendation of sale because we got a target price of 33 francs per share, which is a 28% downside from the close on January 13, 2023 of 45 francs per share. This shows an overvaluation, and so one should sell while the price is still high. So a brief introduction of I&M Rwanda. It's one of the leading commercial banks in Rwanda, offering products and services such as commercial banking, treasury services, and bank assurance. And a brief recap of the history. They are the oldest financial institution in Rwanda, having been incorporated in 1963, then owned by the government. It was privatized in 2004, acquired by I&M in a consortium with Proparco and DEG in 2012, and rebranded to I&M Bank Rwanda in 2013 to reflect the ownership. As of 2017, its shares are traded on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. Looking at their ESG standing, they have a good ESG standing as they're deeply committed to conserve the natural environment, which can be seen by looking at their headquarters, which is a green building. This has reduced water and power consumption by 70%. They also have various initiatives to help the environment, such as the partnership with UNHCR to plant 60,000 tree seedlings in the Hembe refugee camp, which was facing environmental issues. They also have several initiatives to help the community, such as school tuition coverage, community-based health insurance coverage, and they also had a program with Mental Health Hub in 2021 to help the employees cope with COVID-19 effects. Let me welcome my colleague Mucho to continue.
I'm going to continue on corporate governance of I&M Bank. I&M Bank has 9 board of directors with 77% of independent. The remaining 23 are executive, and we found that 22 are women, which is not good, and it should be improved. So let me call upon my second.
So on the industry overview, the Rwanda banking sector dominates other financial institutions by 66.1%, and the remaining financial institutions share the remaining 33.9%. So of those, the only 36% of adult population who should be able to work with the banks only work with and access bank services, meaning that 64 remaining are not accessing the banking services where they should. So despite all, the curve of banks and banking systems have annually increased since 2017 up to now?
Thank you. I'm presenting competitive positioning of I&M Bank. I&M Bank is the fourth, it's a fourth largest commercial company in Rwanda out of 10 that we have in total. And it rose its third place to BPLA mainly due to the acquisition by KCB Group PLC. Rushing to what has 5 forces? We have 5. Threat of new entry, it is low. Threat of substitute, also it's a moderate. Threat of customers, also it is moderate. Threat of power of customers, also it is moderate. Power of suppliers, it is moderate. But they have a high competitive delivery. Let me allow.
Thank you so much. The financial analysis of I&M, we conducted the financial analysis by measuring the financial performance of I&M. So we have seen that we use the profitability, where we have seen that the return on equity and return on asset, which is return on investment. We have seen that the return on equity, it is 15.69, which is the above the banking average sector, which was recommended. For the case of the return on asset, it was 2.06, which is also above the recommended one. This indicates that the I and the BEM, it stands on the good position. For the case of the dividend yield, it is a dividend per shares, the market price per shares, times 100. So we have seen that 2018 was the good year, while 2020 was the bad year due to COVID-19. So 2021, again, it has decided to increase due to the economic recovery. So for the case of the liquidity coverage ratio was 504%, which is the above the benchmark, which is 100. This indicates that the I&M Bank has the ability to meet its short-term obligation as and when they are followed due. For the case of asset quality, was measured by measuring the non-performing loans. We have seen that the non-performing loans of the I&M was 3.45%, which is below the recommended one, which was 5. This indicates the health of the I&M Bank. For the case, okay.
Yes, let's dive into valuation. So we used 3 methods: intrinsic and relative valuation methods, and we averaged all 3 to get a target price of 33 francs per share. In using our discounted cash flow, we used a weighted cost of capital of 21%, where we got an implied share price of 40.16. To confirm our discounted cash flow, we also used the dividend discount model, predicting the future dividends, where we made assumptions such as the risk-free rate of 12.15%, which is the 5-year government bond yield in Rwanda, the beta of 0.74, the market risk premium of 15.43%, the cost of equity of 23.57%, and the terminal growth rate of 10.4%, which reflects the GDP growth. And we also used the relative valuation method in our multiple analysis of peer companies, which are BK, KCB, and Equity, which are also traded on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. We got an average price of 34.9 francs per share, using the price per earnings ratio and the price per book value multiples. Let's also look at our investment risks. So we considered 3 major risks that I&M Rwanda is facing, which includes the credit risk that is faced by banks, since we know that they provide loans, and there is always a situation whereby someone is not able to pay back their loans. There is also a market risk, which comes from changes in prices, such as foreign exchange prices or inflation or other market prices. There is also an operational risk got from internal processes. As we know, the company has digitalized most of the transactions, There is always the risk of system failure or hackers or any other problem. So in summary, we recommend the sale due to the various reasons that we gave, such as the unpredictable payout ratio of the dividends, as my colleague had said, and an investor should always, a company should always have a predictable dividend policy so that one is able to invest. And from our evaluation also, we saw that the current price on the market of the share is overvalued, so one should sell before we predict that it will fall in the future. Thank you. We welcome any questions.
Thank you, group, for your presentation. It was good again. I just have two questions. One, you mentioned dividend policy. Did you look at I&M Bank's dividend policy and what does it say? That's the first one.
We didn't really look at it, but considering the dividend yield, I think. So considering this, as you can see, it's unpredictable, the payout ratio. So for an investor, you can't only look at the current dividend yield. You have to know that in the future, if I'm investing, I'll be getting dividends no matter what happens.
Second question is, according to your presentation and financial analysis, the performance trend is positive, the ratios are really good, asset quality amazing, dividend yield not so good, but it's okay. And your recommendation says the share price is overvalued, basically we should sell. How do you reconcile the two opposing factors?
So after analyzing we have used the three methods of the evaluating the I&M bank. So those methods, the discounted cash flow method, the valuation method, I've seen that the average of those give us the 33 price per shares. So even though the financial analysis and is somehow good, but it was not good as well compared to for the valuation which we did. The reason why we recommend to sell it is because of the valuation of the I&M bank. Because the valuation, we know that the future is uncertainty. That's why we recommend according to that methods.
To add a little bit more, sorry, yeah. So as we are looking at the competition in the banking sector, as you can see, as my colleague Giselle said, the bank registered a growth in several aspects, such as assets, net loans from 2020 to 2021. But because of the high competition in the industry, it still lost its place as the third largest commercial bank in Rwanda, because there is always room for growth in Rwanda. And also looking at the financial analysis, yes, their numbers are good in terms of income, as you can see for 2021, but it's a bit unstable. So we can't only look at 1 year. That's why we considered 5 years. So we can't predict based on 1 year. As you see, the previous 3 years, 2018 to 2020, it had been falling even before the COVID-19 situation came. So we averaged all those, and it has a good performance in the financial statements, but with the valuation, it's overvalued, as you saw, and it's a highly competitive market due to other banks and other companies such as fintechs, which is taking up the market share.
Okay, thank you, Tim. My question is simple. I would like to hear from everyone in the team. After your analysis of I&M Bank, what would you recommend to I&M management team? And what would you improve if you are part of it? And what did also, apart from the recommendation, if you are part of the team, or management team, what would you do better?
Sorry, a brief clarification. So we all say our part to one person. It's all of us. Okay.
Thank you so much. So the recommendation is the management of I&M Bank. For me, I can recommend the management of the I&M Bank try to improve the services, try to interact with the customers, even try to see the situation with the market, how the banking sectors are operating, try to bring some new innovations which can help them to improve the services which they are rendered to the society, to the community.
My recommendation to I&M will go directly to SWOT analysis. So first of all, they should understand where those Porter 5 and see where they can get failed and run the competitors. The second one, we said it, the gender equality. They should improve on gender.
So, according to the I&M Bank, I recommend that I&M Bank should improve in different ways, like to compete with other banks which are serving different products, and they add other like electronic banking system, because there is some banking sector which are more high with electronic bank sector. So I&M Bank should improve in electronic banking sector. Thank you.
Thank you. I also recommend I&M Bank. As my colleague said, I also say about Porter's 5 forces. We saw that they are competition. They have high competitive delivery, so they have to see how they can increase their. How can they be competent by increasing many trainings? Yeah.
Another one also, we've said it, the accessibility of the adults to the banking services. I&M should take the gap and try to fill in the spaces so that the people that access the banking services can increase from their 36% maybe to 100, because it's not limited.
Yes, so I'd like to commend them on the certain policies, such as for the, so I'm going to recommend after. I just noticed a few good things while studying the bank. So looking at the investment risks, they have, I think, a risk committee that is in charge of studying them, so they're good on that. And I think they should improve on their dividend policy, as I had earlier said. It's a bit unpredictable. Yes, and they have a good ESG standing, but even though they have initiatives to help the society, personally, I've never met one. So I just noticed it going through the banks. So I think they should do more outreach to the community, since we also saw that only 36% of the adult population uses banking services. So they should go towards, because I think mostly the clients are companies or businesses. So they should reach out to the personal banking sector so that they can improve on the 64% which is remaining, because the banking sector of Rwanda still has a large opportunity for growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning again and welcome to our presentation. We are group B, so we are going to present about the commanding investors to buy at 76.9 Rwandan franc. So first and foremost, you may ask yourself, what is bank? So I&M Bank is a financial institution which providing loans and accepting deposit from public. So there is the sound statement that their leaders said, chairman. So they said that firstly, they thank their employees how they provide the professional services by supporting their customers. And secondly, is how capitalize on digital platform and providing secure services and convenience. So they start to do everything that can help them to achieve their sustainable development. So there is the I&M Bank background. In 63, there is incorporation of Banque Commerciale du Rwanda as the first commercial bank launched in Rwanda. In 2004, there's privatized and ASTIC acquired 18% with 19.8% is retained by GOL and 0.2% by private individual. In 2016, they name and rebrand to I&M Bank with I&M Bank Limited. So in 2007, I&M Bank is the first bank that introduced e-banking. That's why right now it's amazing bank that are expressing digital banking. So about the corporate, social, and environment, I&M Bank is the environmental friendly, where they start to protect and restoring environment by tree plantation and continue to reduce the paper used. So about the social I&M Bank, it's a community-based activities and they provide education. As you see, we are here and providing technical science sponsorship. For corporate, I&M Bank continue to enhance their board of directors through the training, and they start to provide the remuneration for their employee in order to improve their performance. So there is the product and services provided by I&M Bank. They provide personal banking, business banking, corporate, diaspora banking, and they're providing loans and some card like debit card, credit card, and providing advice for their clients where they can invest their money by earning the profit. Allow me to call my colleague Eric to continue about industry drivers and competitive position. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to continue on industry analysis. As highlighted by Beneri report of 2022, I'm going to look on for honorary quotas. I look on three key financial indicators, like on capital efficiency. Capital efficiency, let me look on this ratio, where indicated that the capital available to the bank for meeting its obligation before bankruptcy. As you can see on those ratios, the rates are very good. Like on capital to asset, the minimum is 12, and the previous four quarters, the rate was above the minimum, which means that the financial sector is very good. Like on leverage, the ratio is decreasing, which show that the risk to the banks and financial sector is very low. I can talk about on earning and asset. On asset quality, this indicates that the management of financial institutions are very able or are more efficient to manage the asset. Like you can see on non-performing loans to gross loan granted, the ratio is very low, which means non-performing loans to the all loans granted are very low. The management is more able for recovering the loan. So on earnings, like on return on equity and return on asset, management are getting more profit. As you can see, the rate is increasing. 2.7 on return on asset, 3 on return on last quarter, which indicate management capacity. So I can recommend investors to buy because the sector is very favorable. Thank you. Let me allow my colleague to continue, but I can talk about this positioning, competitive positioning. The bank focused on segmentation where they introduce different products like diaspora, like those long-term investment, like that building of them, which continue to contribute to environmental protection. Let me allow my colleague to continue.
Thank you very much. I'm Jean-Baptiste Nkurunziza. Allow me to continue on the financial statement analysis of I&M Bank. Upon financial statement analysis, we have considered revenue, non-performing loans, liquidity, and profitability of I&M Bank. About the revenue, we have been used the revenue from 2017 to 2022 for 9 years, for 9 months, sorry, because the data for last quarter was not available. But we have seen that it is performing well in the revenue and it's growing except for 2020, where the country was in the problem of COVID-19 pandemics, which affected over the worldwide. But now the country is, and then bank in general, is in the recovery period from that depression they faced. Also, about profitability analysis, we use the same years and we found that profitability is growing as you see on the graph, except for 2020, where it was downside due to that problem of COVID. But now it's growing again. We have used another three key ratios to make analysis: net profit margin, return on asset, and return on equity. As you see for 2020 and 2021, it's good and is increasing, and we are sure that they are going to continue increasing. About the liquidity analysis, this is where the business is able to meet its short-term obligations and its solvents, to continue being solvent. And now, as you see on the graph, it's good. Thank you. Allow me to call my colleague to continue evaluation. Thank you very much.
For evaluation, we used the discounted dividend method. So, and we used the data you are seeing on the screen to get the cost of capital weighted of 7%, and we use the dividend projected the dividend to determine the value of the shares, so that we can know how much investors can pay. And we get 76.94 Rwandan francs as the value per share. So after that, we look on comparison of I&M Bank with the other banks and for their earning per share as well. And we get I&M Bank is ranked the 4th. So as you see on the screen. So allow me, without hesitating, to call my colleagues and continue with the remainings.
Thank you. And morning once again. Allow me to proceed on the investment risk session. So we have sat as a team B, and we identified that I&M Bank is likely to, in their operations, they're likely to meet with 3 main investment risks. Moving straight, the first one we have identified is interest rate risk. Under the interest rate risk, we've identified that I&M Bank sometimes they offer some loans to their customers, and at the end, they find themselves unable to pay it back due to the interest rate which change over time and the time, which may result to the loss to their operations. So the second one, it's foreign exchange risk. This type of risk is caused by the fluctuation. As you know, I&M Bank is not a domestic bank. They have an international operation. So under that operations, they met with a foreign exchange fluctuations. So they may end up not doing their operations right. The last one, it's operational risk. Otherwise, they are like human risks. The risks they met with in their daily transactions are like hackers, like IT-related failure, and other system failures. So, all in all, as Team B, we are recommending the potential investors and the public in general a buy option as we have calculated, and we get a target price of 76.94 per share. But on Rwanda Stock Exchange, they publish for 3 per share as their share price. So it's in general it's underpriced. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Team B. I have some questions. I think we'll go by each one. The first is, what is I&M Bank's share price trend like? Has it ever reached that price that you're talking about that we should buy at? What has the trend been like?
You mean that for 3?
What is the share price trend of I&M Bank? What is it like?
It's uptrend. Okay. In general, their share price trend is uptrend.
My second question is, how does I&M Bank manage the risk that you mentioned it faces?
For foreign exchange risk, they use hedging so that fluctuation will not affect them negatively. Yeah, yes. For operation, they just improve a day per days. For credit, they establish the team in order to help them to recover a loan and make investigation or due diligence before providing a loan to the customers, to check whether they will be able to pay and they have qualified collateral securities to repay back in time of failure to pay. Thanks.
A little bit I can add on that. Even though they have internal auditors, they decide to hire the external auditors to come and audit their operations on a daily basis. Thank you.
In your presentation, you mentioned the financial sector is doing very well and the risks to the financial sector are low. But I don't know if you followed the recent announcement from the central bank showing the rise in inflation rates. How is the bank preparing for macroeconomic risks that are possible in the near future from your research?
Thank you. As I highlighted, financial sector is performing well. As you said, Benin have recently announced about the inflation. So the bank have to take quick strategies so that they can go with that inflation. So on key strategies, I think the bank should consider. I think will relate to their product, to their services they offer. They will have to continue to reduce non-performing loans, the rate of non-performing loans, so that their asset continue to be high. I think with that regards, the bank will continue to be in line with the inflation rate increase.
Again, anything I can add about inflation, you know that there is different measures that established by National Bank of Rwanda about how we can mitigate the inflation, especially what you call legal reserve requirement. Is the tools that can be used by also the banks. I think is the one. Thank you.
The other one, the other one we can add on. The banks are trying to set a growth rate which is in line with the GDP of Rwanda, which is good to the financial sector and the banking sector in general. Thank you.
Thank you for your second presentation. My first question is regarding on the financial analysis. On liquidity, you told us about liquidity of 500% compared to 100% limit by the regulator. What does that mean exactly for your? And how did this influence your your recommendation?
Thank you very much. As we know, every business and their activities need the liquidity. So that the amount that have been used in their activities and operations of the bank. So what it means is that if the National Bank of Rwanda is setting that every bank must have at least a minimum of 100% of the liquidity, and now we are achieving 500%, this means that we are solvent. There is no indication of insolvency for our bank. As you know, if the bank has no liquidity, it has no cash for using in day-to-day transactions. There is no payment for expenses and other things and charges for day-to-day. But if our bank has high liquidity ratio, it means that we are able to meet any transaction that you can meet in day-to-day transactions. And also short-term obligations for payment of creditors, those short-term dates. I think is that. Thank you.
How does it affect their profitability?
Profitability. Of course, this can affect profitability in negative way, first of all, and in positive way. In negative way, if the money is reserved, it means that they are not invested. If they are not invested, it means that there is no return because there is no investment made. But also, if the bank is able to meet its short-term obligations, we are creating confidence to our customers, to our creditors, because they are paying them on time. So this will affect positively the profitability of the company. Thank you.
What is your recommendation based on your analysis? You have told us the share, the valuation of you reached. You have told us the current price on the market.
Yes.
What is your recommendation? It's not
Recommendation if I&M bank stuff or? Yes. Oh, okay. I think you.
I'm not talking about the recommendation for I&M staff.
Yes.
I'm talking about your recommendation based on this report.
Oh, thank you. As a team, our recommendation is to encourage investors to invest in the bank and public in general. Just as you see, it's the target price is higher than the current market price. This means that there is a good evidence that even in the future that current market price is going to increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time and patience. And thank you for your presentation for the participant. Now, by the time we are tallying the marks of these two presenters, I can invite I&M representative. So maybe he may have a comment about the presentations and other word of thanks he wants to give. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to commend all the good work done by all the teams. Please, let's join our hands together to give them a round of applause for the good work done. Looking at the presentation that you've done today, you've put in a lot of effort, and to be quite frank, I've learned a lot of things from your presentations, which I didn't know. I didn't know that we look that way in terms of the analysis that you've done, and it's really impressive. Now, looking at one of the feedbacks that I should give you concerning the bank, I would say that our ESG does not only concern the tree planting and the mutuelle de santé only. So we have a number of things that we support through our CSR, which also includes anything that relate to sustainability, education, and all things that relate to giving back to the community. Now, coming back to the research that you've done, especially when you look at the industry, the trend in the industry and how you do your analysis. You shouldn't always limit your analysis to one company or only to players in the market. I'll come back to one of the presentation where you mentioned where I&M is, you were comparing it with the market leader, which is BK. Of course, when you look across the market, BK has like 40% market share in terms of assets, the liabilities, the deposits, as well as the revenues. But look at it in a perspective of other opportunities on the market. We are 16 banks on this market, excluding the microfinances, which basically mean there are other opportunities that either be I&M or other banks that they can harvest, they can eat on the cake of other banks. So you should not limit your analysis only on two players, because there's a lot of things you can learn through that process as you expand your research. Another item that I wanted to maybe to brief you about is on the on our relationship with the CFA society. It is not limited to this session that we have today. We are open to strengthening our relationship with the CFA society, but as well as the universities and you as individuals to come and partner with the bank. If you want to do further research, we are open to give you access to our public data because we are a listed company. That's why at some point you were not able to see the financials of our quarter four. We haven't yet released our financials, but we are open to discuss with you, to give you a flow, to learn more about the bank and what we are doing. You've covered some part on the strategy of the bank, but I'll be happy to have a session with you at your convenience to take you through about our strategy, what we are doing, and where we intend to be as an organization the next 5 to 10 years maybe. And lastly, to those who did not make it maybe to the next round of this challenge, this is not the end of the way. That's what I can say. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of things that you can learn. There's also a lot of challenges that you can participate into, not only this one. It doesn't mean that you are bad, but even for those who are going to win, there's still a lot of things that we can learn. Like I'm telling you, I've learned quite a number of things which I'm going to incorporate in my work as I do my analysis about the performance of the industry, as well as the performance of the bank as well. So I wish you all the best, and we are going to continue to be partners. Thank you.
Thank you for your word. And now we are going to announce the best team in the two best one. We have Team B, University of Rwanda, and you have University of Kigali, Team A. Now, Team B has average of 69, and University of Kigali has 64. So the best team, the winning team now is University of Rwanda, Team B. So we have awards, and we have a check here for 500 USD. And now I'm now inviting Gilbert. Please come forward and together with Ale, so that he can give this. And team member should also come, and then we give you. Yeah, you may come here. We have an award for winning university. So Ali may assist us to give the university. Team leader. We have, I don't see their faculty advisor, and you have their trophy, and even the industry mentor. I don't. Industry mentor was, I don't know his name or her name. And every member of winning team, give the award. Every member of winning team has a trophy there. So. So we have certificate here for every participant and even the industry mentor. So I have a faculty advisor for University of Kigali, Charles Omanyu. Please come forward. And even your team may come because you have your certificate. Sacre Mutoneshwa, Focus Chuzo, Sacre. Focus. No, what's there? Please come and take a photo, please. Your team. I hope we can take a group photo of every team member. All of you. Chuzo. Julius Mahimund. Munyamund. Johnny Mucho. Oh. And even teams, even other team member may come. ko mugiye se mudafasha. Okay. We have Samuel Gakwerere, Abel Kennedy is not around also. Okay. Didancienne Nyungura. Oh. Siongo na nagari. Denise Masengesho. Eric Byiringiro. Jean-Baptiste Nkurunziza. John Nzayikunda. Patrick Nibigira. Uwimana Clemence. Okay. Take a photo. We have Clemence Uwimana, Valence Mbarushimana, Eric Bushi, Chance Nigena, Amina Ihimbazwe, okay, we can give him. Now, as we are close to the end, let me give a mic to Gilbert, our board member, and give our remarks. And on my side, I really thank you for your participation. And I really thank the judges who took their time. And even most of them, I called them on the last minutes, and they managed to come. So I really thank your time and your patience. And even next time when I approach you, please don't hesitate. Thank you.
Thank you, Safari, for the good organization. And most of all, I want to thank the university teams. You've done really a commendable job in dissecting I&M Bank. Special thanks goes to, first of all, to the Institute Organizing Committee who have been in the background putting this together. Thanks to the graders who sat down and looked at the details of your research reports. Thanks to the judges, Vanessa and Jackie. I believe you've kept these people on their feet. Many thanks to the mentors who have guided these teams to come up with these stellar presentations. I'm surprised and I'm blown away as a CFA candidate to see that the university students who may be in their course units, they don't have these skills, these tools, and they've sat down and taken time to you know, you're telling us what we are studying, and I'm surprised Jackie can bear witness. This is how we study how to analyze companies, to recommend them for buying or selling or holding. So the fact that you've not done it out of background knowledge in class, but you've gone out there, you've gone out on the limb and presented such presentations. I'm so surprised and pleasantly surprised, actually. If I had my own award, I would give it to all the team leaders. You've managed to put everything together and the teams and present well. So big shout out to you, team leaders. I had something like Damodar, and I was like, what is, you know. That means I believe by the time you come out of a university of, let's say, 400, 500 students and you get interested in this thing, that means you're getting attracted to investment analysis, financial analysis. And I'd like to tell you that there is a lot of opportunity for you through your career as an investment professional, or for your business, if you plan to be a business owner. These are the things that you need to do on a daily basis. I implore all of you, each of you, to look out for the earnings announcements that are coming out, maybe 31st March, Ale, correct me if I'm wrong. And do exactly the same research, even if you do a desk research of the banks, but more so the companies that are registered on the stock exchange, Rwanda Stock Exchange. I think they're about 10. Look out for their financials at the end of 31st March and do the same. If finance and investment analysis is something that you're looking to pursue as your career. For Rwanda, let me tell you something about the CFA Institute and Rwanda. The institute is about 70 years or more in existence. We only have less than 200,000 chartered financial analysts in the world over. In Rwanda, we have 2 resident and a third Rwandan who is not resident. That makes 3 total. I don't know what you make of that, but me, I make 2 things out of it. It is very challenging, but it's also very rewarding. It puts you in the top tier 1% of the advisors in the world. As you may have known, the Rwandan government already has the Rwanda Stock Exchange. It has the Capital Markets Authority. It has gone ahead with Kigali International Financial Center. I can spend a whole day explaining that. And there's a reason I'm saying all this. The government has also moved to introduce a Ministry of Investments. That's a statement. Rwanda is positioning itself as a hub for investors to come into Africa. And irrespective how someone looks at it as a layperson, thinking we don't have resources, the resources are they're in this building. We have human capital. So I implore all the students to pursue that line of career, and trust me, you won't regret. Ale said we have 16 banks, excluding the micros. We have over 16 insurance companies. We have advisors. We have funds. We have a lot of employment opportunities or learning opportunities for you as students. So again, I'm imploring you to pursue that career. Jackie, my colleague, we are both studying this CFA course, and Vanessa as well. And many other people, I'm seeing many faces that we usually meet on the battleground, from funds, from central bank, and there are many others, like people who have been in the grading and the mentorship side. They are key people in deciding or advising the direction a company should take. Jackie told me that during the break that most of the students who did the previous 1 or 2 research challenges ended up working in portfolio management firms, in funds, in the analysis departments of banks. So it doesn't stop here. Actually, it starts here. If this is something that you've enjoyed, an experience you've enjoyed, we implore you to get in touch with I&M, with the institute, with the society, and the future is really, really bright. Talking about the continuing to talk about the institute, the CFA designation. When we started out, we used to, when you would put together, like when you pay school fees for a term or for an exam, for us, it wouldn't only be fees, it would be flights, it would be hotel, it would be, getting lost. The budget was big, but currently, starting from this previous Feb, starting I think 15th Feb, the society, the CFA Society of East Africa has fought to bring the test center to Rwanda. So today, you'll just walk out of home or walk out of your job or walk out of school and go for the exam center in Kigali. So there is a test center. There is availability of tuition providers, both who are physically in Kigali and those who are online. Currently, we have around 100, over 100 registered candidates who are pursuing this course. So if you make a choice, you won't be alone. You'll have many people to show you around. The institute has also made a change in the requirements. Previously, for someone to register for the course, they needed to have a university degree and some experience, working experience, 3 years. But as of starting this year, 2023, someone who has done 2 years of university, as long as they have their marks, proof of finishing 2 years, maybe you're in the 3rd year, you're eligible to register and start this course. You don't have to wait to start working and, And one last point on that is that there are scholarships. If the average fee per level is around $1,000, which is around 1 million, 1.2. But now they have increased the access to offer scholarships. So you can always go on the institute page and apply for a scholarship. Yeah, so this is all I had to say. I want to thank you. I want to implore you. And I want to wish you the very best of today, the rest of today, and the very best of your career. The society is available at your beck and call. Please, mutuigane, tuganire, turebe how to increase the number of charter holders in the country, and the market is ready for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now this is the end of the event. We are going to have a lunch down there where we took our tea break, and everyone will be having what you call anyway, I don't have much to say. I wish you all the best endeavor. For the participant, even other people, you may apply for the scholarship as Gilbert have said. Yeah. And you may get a chance to get that scholarship. Some of us who have benefited from it, even though we didn't pass, like I myself, I benefited from it, and I participated in this challenge in 2016, like you. I was at university. Yeah, I'm really beneficial of the CFA product. Thank you.